Hey everyone, it's me. I look like a hot mess like I always do in these videos, but um, that's okay because we're gonna ignore all of this right now and focus on what I'm saying. How about that? Um, so as you guys know, I've had a hard time lately. Um, things about my husband and the love bot, and I know I did an update yesterday, actually, but um, those who are keeping track of what's going on or what's been going on. I wanted to get on here and say, and some of my videos might be boring to you guys because you don't understand what I'm going through, and that's okay. You can move on to the next video, or you know, or still watch because we never know what will happen in our lives. And, um, it's bad enough, like, when computers came around, I think, a lot of people started talking to other people through computers and then cell phones and just online. And it's always about how you use it. You can use it for good. You can use it for evil. You can use it to screw up relationships. Just so much, out there. I can't, again, I've never been perfect. Never claimed to be perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't screwed up and that I haven't used the internet for things that I probably shouldn't be. So I'm not going to sit here and ever claim to be perfect. Far from it. Or I wouldn't look like this all the time, right? But yeah, so, and I don't want to say there's excuses, but, and yes, there's a but, there's always a but, right? They're not excuses. I was in a relationship with my husband. We've been together over 22 years, I will tell you. We have been through anything and everything, it feels like. My husband is a lot older than me. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned that, but he is a lot older than me. And so people are always surprised when I'm like, yeah, he was caught talking to a woman. And you can say, why does that surprise people? He is more of a serious person. First of all, very serious about everything. Ooh, it just got dark. Sorry. He's very serious. So, there's a lot of reasons, but I think also partly was, people asked me that, I think based on his age. And just things like that. So, yeah, people get really shocked. They always expected me to be the one that's like, oh yeah, I've talked to 50 guys. And I'm not saying I have not talked to guys. And I have. I'm not going to lie about that either. My husband knows this. At one point, in one of our our old neighborhoods, I even had a flirtation going with a guy, which that's the difference, I guess, between me and him. I never hid my stuff. Like, he knew about it. He knew there was a flirtation. He knew that I guess you could say, had a crush on this guy, and me. I never hid that I have talked to other men. In my case, first of all, I feel like if you're going to do it, you need to be honest. And it shouldn't be hidden, right? It's up to that person if they want to stay with you or not. At that point, my husband didn't care whatsoever. He cared at first about the flirtation. Um, but at the point of talking to people, he never cared. He never checked my phone. He's never cared, I guess, if I stepped out or not. So we were at that point at our relationship, like I've said. Um, I've always cared. I've always loved my husband, no matter what is the problem, I guess. I mean, it's not a problem, but when I love hard. For my case, I spoke to other guys because I wanted to feel attractive. My husband didn't make me feel that way. He didn't try to make me feel that way. And I wanted someone to talk to. Um, and he didn't take the time to talk to me or listen to me because his phone is always in his hand. Even now, he has his phone. I always compete for his attention with his phone. Now he has gotten better, and when I start talking, he will put it down, usually. But, not all the time, but usually now. But yeah, as soon as I'm done talking, it's back in his ear, and he's watching his information or whatever he's watching. So yeah. So, I guess I always hoped, in my case, that if my husband also knew that I was talking to other men, that he would step up, right? And, understand, hey, this is what she needs. She needs attention, and I'm not giving it to her. Hey, she needs to feel attractive, and I'm not doing that anymore. And he never did. At one point in my relationship, I think if a man came to my door looking for me, he would have at first acted like, what are you doing here for her? But then he would have been like, hey, someone's here for you. And then sat down and played with his phone. I don't think he would have ever cared. And I was always hoping that because of course I tried to tell him, hey, we're not doing this, we're not spending time together. I'm not gonna lie, we were in a sexless marriage for more years than I would like to tell you. And it got to the point that we were just only roommates. When he talked to people, it wasn't people around us, it wasn't people near us. When I talked to people, I don't know where any of them lived. I think they were near us, but, I do have a conscience, and I do have a heart, and like I said, when I love until it probably takes my life at that point. And so I am the type of person, yes, I love the attention, I wanted the attention, I wanted to feel attractive, but it wasn't my husband, and anytime somebody would mention meeting, I am the type of person that I'm done talking to you. I can't, I won't talk to you. Because I know that one decision could change my whole life in so many ways. If I would meet someone. So yeah, so that is, I'm not perfect, definitely. And so yeah, the love bot, I started to tell you, and I think I told you guys yesterday, my husband did get an email, not from, the supposed person, but it was like an app, and saying that this woman was trying to reach out to him. Well, you guys know me. I downloaded the app, I've typed in the name, and started writing to this person. I wasn't saying how dare you or anything like that, craziness like that. I just started writing to it, and I have never gotten an answer back. It doesn't even look like anybody has read them. So I did go to information, which there's not a lot of information, but there was an email address that was connected to this person's profile. And so the email address, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it had the name Daniel in it. So I assume that if it's a real email address to do with the person who runs it, I would say their name is at least Daniel. You know, it is a Gmail, I will say, email. I don't know if it's real, but I would say it was someone's real email somewhere. Anyways, so it looks like possibly my husband was talking to some guy named Daniel the whole time, controlling the love bot. Now, in the past, I have been able to find the pictures. I am one of those people who I love doing research. I love finding things. I'm maybe messed up like that, but it brings me joy. Then I can do it, I guess. And so, yeah, the pictures I have found, different pictures of this woman. Because schemers, a lot of times, do use real pictures of real women. Not always. Sometimes, they mess with them and do AI. Or even if they're real, sometimes they, make them look better. And so, of course, I have found this girl's pictures, different places. I would say she is definitely real somewhere out in the world. Based on what I can see, she possibly is a porn star. Or, someone who does porn. Just based on the pictures I've seen of her. If not, then she loves her body. I'm not sure. But anyway, so yeah, I would say she's definitely real. Sometimes they do AI. Sometimes it just looks like a real picture of her. But yeah, I definitely don't. I thought it was interesting that the person who's running it name is Daniel. So yeah, and I got to tell my husband that today, that possibly he was talking to some guy named Daniel, but I assume it was a guy behind the bot. Yeah, so do not let a love bot or any bot ruin your relationships or yourself, because coming from me, who, the problem is every time I think my relationship has been wonderful, that's when when it's bad, things seem to be, can't say they are good, but it's when I'm like, everything is going good. My husband's excited to see me, blah, 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 blah. And then I find out he's talking to someone. And I look like an idiot because I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought things were going so good. Now, he really is trying. And I know, it sounds like I'm sitting here complaining all the time. You have to understand, because this isn't the first time I've been through it. My husband has talked to women. I can't even tell you how many years in our relationship that I know of. Those aren't even the ones I don't know of. And I'm sure there's a lot I don't know about. I have a feeling. But, and it's one thing that, okay, you didn't talk to them very long. We can move on. Things are good. Things are going to be good. This time almost took me out. And I know you guys can be like, it was a bot, though. It was fake. But he didn't know that. Okay? So to him, it was real. To him, it was going to be real. And this almost took me out with everything I'm going through. And this was the hardest one because there were things said that he's never said to any other ones. And it really almost took me out mentally, physically. Now I'm to the point that obviously I don't trust him. I mean, there's really no trust. And I hate to say that. Okay, but there's not. Usually we go back and everything's the same way it was, and then he talks to someone else again. And this time it's the first time that he's making changes. He's helping me with laundry. He's helping me do things. He's being more attentive to not only my needs, but listening to me, calling me, texting me. So this is the first time he's done any of this. So I think he really does understand how much he actually hurt me, but also how he fucked up and almost lost everything. Everything over nothing that was real. He's not the best at expressing his feelings, as we know. So I don't know really, but we're trying to communicate better. We're not 100% there, but we have gotten better. I am having a lot of trust issues. I'm having a lot of uncertainties. Especially if he's not with me. No, I can't sit and watch him like I'm his mother. I shouldn't have to be his mother. And I shouldn't have to tell a man not to step out or try to. Right? I shouldn't have to. He should not want to. But the problem is, I don't make that decision. People don't step out because of the person they're with. They step out because of how they feel about themselves and about how they feel inside. And, he's a lot older, and he's very serious, so it's not like he's going to be out there having, ooh, let's party, like, and that typically most people, when they cheat, they don't even end up with the person they cheated with. That is very rare, especially when you're a very age-wise, typically, when you're, a lot older and the person is a lot younger, even younger than me, they definitely don't end up together because they're in different parts of their lives and have different wants and needs. And if you want excitement, you have to bring your own excitement with your relationship. Plan things, do things, surprise people. Looks are not always going to be there. We all get older, our looks fade. No matter if you think that person's pretty or not at the time, it doesn't even matter. The point is looks fade. We all get older. We all get gray hair, white hair, older. Wrinkles. So yeah, looks fade. It's about who's there for you. It's about if something would happen in an emergency, who's going to be there for you. It's so much more than looks. And, people forget about that. And so I'm here and I know, I've made a few videos about this Lovebot / scammer. But again, you never know what your spouse is doing or who they're talking to. And these love bots can be men or women and have pictures of men and women. And you think you're, 40 talking to this guy who's in the gym and all muscle. And again, they can even video chat. Not very long, but they can. So you don't know these people are not real. Anyways, so I'm trying to make awareness for other people. I'm trying to help other people understand because this was all new to me. All new. I'm not saying, I'm sure he's talked to other bots probably in the past without knowing, but this was the first time I have heard about love bots because I'm not up to date with everything anymore. With getting older and having kids, I don't keep up with everything anymore. So, yeah. I hope one day this video helps somebody. Talk to you guys later. Bye.